I need to play a mild prank on my girlfriend. Any ideas? My girlfriend of many years played a prank on me for the first time ever like a month ago. We were walking home from dinner and unbeknownst to me she put a few white Tic Tacs in her mouth. She pretended to sneeze and spit a couple teeth out. It shocked me for half a second and took my brain a bit longer to figure out what happened, and by that point she was laughing hysterically. She loved the prank so much. I of course pointed out that she just started a new phase in our relationship. A pranks phase. Her face immediately dropped as she realized our unspoken truce of not pranking each other has been broken. Enough time has passed and I want to get her back. I want something as benign and quick as hers, and I can't think of friggin' anything. Any master pranksters here that can help me? Edit 1. Obviously this got much more attention than I expected lol. Thank you to everyone for your ideas. At their best they were great ideas I considered, and at their worst they were hilarious, outlandish, and fun to read. Want to clarify one thing. The pranks phase was said tongue-in-cheek to her to get rise out of her. There will be no actual pranks phase. I'm going to do this one and that will be it. She generally doesn't enjoy pranks, which is why the one she did was so fun to me, and I'm excited to give her that same bit of joy I had. Tonight is the night. I've decided to go with the dry pasta back crack. I think it's the closest to what she did to me and the easiest to peel off. She had 2 long days at work, so I didn't want to add to it, which is why there was a delay. I'll update again with how it went in about 12 hours. I don't know why, I always get a huge laugh out of the pranks where people just start replacing pictures around the house with a random celebrity. See how long it takes her to notice. I also remember one where some printed a ton of pictures of Nicolas Cage and just put / hid them around the house in random places. If you listen closely, you can still hear them finding pictures of Nicolas Cage to this day. Not quite the same thing, but about 15 years ago my wife and I acquired a silver statuette of 2 mating tortoises from somewhere, I forget where. We both loved how hideously tasteless it was. One day, one of us decided to hide it somewhere the other would find it, like under a cushion, and that was it. The game was on. It now gets hidden in increasingly unusual places, and the deal is that when you find it, you have to hide it again for the other person to find, without saying you found it. It's followed us through 3 house moves, and has even gone abroad with us. It's been behind the sink, in a winter coat that has been stored away over the summer, in a first aid kit, at the back of the fridge, inside a teddy bear. You name it. Sometimes it's found within days, sometimes it takes months, sometimes it's so long that we both forget where it's hidden. It's been about 1.5 years since I've seen it now. I love that moment when I glimpse a bit of silver and realize that was a damned good hiding place. And then the creativity of trying to find an even better hiding place is fun, too. My brother and I do this with the random business card we grabbed from a diner once. I snagged it because it had a goofy picture on it and later slipped it under his keyboard. A week later I found it in a book I was reading, and it's been back and forth ever since. It's been in wallets, holiday day cards, glove compartments behind car registrations, in cereal boxes, you name it. Currently should be behind his phone in his phone case. The longer it's been since someone found it, the more excited we are when it turns up. Definitely share if you've got any decent hiding place suggests. My roommate and I do this with the green rubber duck with the top hat. The 2 greatest spots we've hid it are in my computer case and in his car. The computer case was quickly spoiled because I got an accessory component that same week. When I hid it in his car, I'd been holding it for a couple months thinking of somewhere to put it, so he forgot it existed. Then one day, as he says, I go to leave for work and there's the fucking duck with its ass clamped in my phone mount. I actually smacked the wheel and yelled fuck. It's currently on the shelf behind me waiting to be hidden again. One of the best pranks I ever did was celebrating my ex, boyfriend at the time's birthday by completely decorating his apartment like a little kid's birthday party. Didn't cost much and was a great laugh. I went with the Monster High theme because their party hats were little top hats, so I bought those and placed his stuffed animal penguins around the apartment with the party hats. Streamers, a hanging birthday sign, a weird wall art thing that I covered the hallway with that you had to walk through to get to the bathroom, bedroom, plates for the penguins, etc. Totally worth it. Lol, one time I remotely hacked into my own laptop and gained remote access while my husband was using it and closed out his tab. He opened it back up thinking it was a glitch and I closed it again and brought up a note and typed, "I am watching you." And he started screaming and yelling for me to come see what's happening. Lol. It was funnier because my laptop had actually been hacked a couple months before, so he thought they were out to get him. Ask her if your shirt smells funny when she goes to sniff it. Kiss her on the forehead. Food dupes can be really fun. I once made Rice Krispie treats and shaped them around a pretzel rod, then warmed some creamy peanut butter in the microwave 15 seconds. Stir and repeat until liquid. Coated the treats with the peanut butter, then rolled them in lightly crushed cornflakes and served fried chicken at a potluck. Another fun one is to make sugar cookies with icing and sprinkles, but replace the sprinkles with Pop Rocks. Add the Pop Rocks immediately before serving for best results. They start to lose their fizz within an hour. You know, it's kind of amazing people still ask me to bring things to potlucks at this point. Mild pranks. Get pack of Tic Tacs like she used. Wrap it like a present. Put that in a small box, and wrap it like a present. Put that in a medium box and wrap it like a present. About 5 layers of box. Wrapping is appropriate. Gift it to her. Get 2 bags of flour. Hand one to her, and then the other one. I got you some flowers. Get a leek from the grocery, and several bottles of water. Set them all on the bathroom floor, or kitchen or wherever. Come running into the room she is in. Oh my god, there is a leak in the bathroom, and water all over the floor. Come quick. Lol, when my BF and I first started dating years ago, he pranked me, and by that I just mean scared the living shit out of me. He was on vacation with a friend and was out of town for a week. He came back a day earlier than he anticipated and wanted to surprise me at work. I was just getting off work though, so he hid in my car. That's right folks, he actually hid in my car, at night, waiting to surprise me. Suffice to say, he was a milli-moment away from getting maced. By the time I realized it was him, I already had scared and angry tears streaming down my face cause I thought there was some strange man hiding in my car getting ready to kill me. Don't do that either. As a kid, like 8, there was a filled bucket with water to wash the walls left over from the day before. I got my body to stand in it, with full booty pajamas. 6, then I stood in it. Then we walked upstairs and told Dad the basement was full of water. Where is the carpet wet? He asks all sleepy. I put my leg up to show the wet pajamas. He freaks out and rushes down toward the basement and me and my brother follow. Mom is getting up behind us. What is it? She asks. Dad comes back up the stairs with his legs dripping wet and tells Mom the basement is flooded. All 3 of us are laughing. Mom is freaking out. Thankfully she thought Dad set it all up so we missed out on most of the aftermath. First, for a few weeks, anytime there is a new jar of mayo in the house, hide it. Then say need anything from the store? I'm going to pick up some mayo. We're out. And anytime she's heading to the store, ask her to get mayo. Once she starts wondering where all the mayo is going, then just casually plop down on the couch during TV time with your mayo/pudding/yogurt jar on a spoon. The medium long con. Not really a short prank, but a damn good one my friends got me with. Only necessary backstory info. I have a very sensitive sniffer. My friends went to Home Depot, bought those very strong pine-smelling sticks for fake Christmas trees and taped them around my usual hangout spaces in the house. Behind my bed headboard, behind my toilet, behind my couch seat, above our front door entrance. I of course noticed the smell immediately upon returning home, but both friends, Roommates denied sensing any such smells themselves. Well, they let this one run. 2 months later of them still not smelling it, and I start to get worried. You smell toast when you're about to have a stroke. What god-awful brain problem makes you smell pine? So I start googling it to no avail. I mention it's very odd I still smell pine so strongly, and them starting to worry, to which they both just start doubling over in laughter. They revealed the prank and pulled down all the pine sticks. They friggin' got me. My dad used to have a little bowl of pretty rocks on his dining table. Once he grabbed a bunch of them and crunched them in his mouth. Turns out some of the rocks were rock sugar or hard candy. He did make sure to quickly explain the trick that they're not all candies, as we were kids who would have loved to imitate him. Edit, haha, came back, and now the top comment is this same trick, about buying candy that's made to look like stones. Also, my dad doesn't have sweet tooth at all. Doesn't even like chocolate. He'd suffer through eating rock sugar just to trick people. A couple harmless, fun ones I've done in the office. 2 coworkers had the same wireless mice, sat next to each other, open office. I swapped their USB dongles, swap right and left click for the mice and Windows settings, change the default mouse cursor to the loading one, so they think something is loading forever. Change the background to pics of the team taken while person was away from desk and we took pics. Change desktop background to scroll through a folder of images, with all but one image as the regular desktop and another with one small change. That is a mustache on a face, a badly drawn sun, etc. My fiancé knows I can be gullible, and he is always saying stuff in a serious way until I realize he is joking. Example, we were on the highway, I was ordering food and asked when I should put the pickup time. He said we had taken a wrong turn. We wouldn't be back in town for another half hour. I was concerned. Another 30 minutes? Why didn't you tell me? Then we pulled off the highway into our town. I got him back. We were going on a road trip. I waited until we were about 10 minutes away from home, then said, "Oh shit, I forgot." He was ready to pull over and return back. Then I said, "The Alamo," as in, don't forget the Alamo. It was pretty funny without any negatives. I like to prank my brother. I usually wait 6 months to a year to do one so his guard is totally dropped. Here's some of the better ones. I mailed him a potato. No box. Just wrote his P.O. box in Sharpie and put a belt of Scotch tape around it to make sure the postage stayed. I sent Dora the Explorer toothbrush in an extremely phallic package, then texted random toothbrush facts once a day until he got it. I whittled down a 3-round dowel into a 2-round cock and balls, made it about 13 long and mounted it on a 10-wood trophy back with the plaque that reads, "For your many achievements." Sent it in a reinforced cake box with the window and a lid covering the window that was not going to last long and tear off mid-shipping. That way people see what he's getting and wonder what achievements gets you this. By the way, everything I ship, I require a signature to acquire. That way somebody with judgmental eyes hopefully hands it to him. If I gift him money, it's always in ones, and I had a B and an R to back so it reads boner. Every single bill. I loosely zip tie cowbells under his truck so he wonders WTF that noise is when starts and stops. There's a lot more, but these are some of the best. When my wife first moved to my town, she started meeting my circle of friends. She would end up in a discussion with someone and casually mention my tape dancing. I do not tape dance. She would give a different bit of the picture to each person she met. I practiced in the park on weekends with the piece of plywood I carried out there. I had a whole outfit. My hero was Fred Astaire, and she'd end by saying something like, "Oh, don't tell him I told you, he's sensitive about it." Then, slowly, over the course of months, I'd be talking to someone and they would say something like, "Oh, am I wrong, or was it you that tap dances?" Or, "Oh hey look, it's Fred Astaire in this YouTube clip, I thought you'd like to see it." This went on for ages and came at me from all directions, and never could anyone recall from whom they'd heard it. And the fact that they each only had a tiny tidbit of the story made it all the stranger. Finally, a year or so into this, I told her how all my friends had me mixed up with someone who loves to tape dance in the park and all that, and I couldn't figure out who they were all thinking of, but it was driving me nuts. She finally caved and fessed up to it all. I have never gotten her back. I don't want to start a war one can't win against the Sun Tzu of pranks. Get a case of white Tic Tacs. Amazon has them 12 in a case. Take out the bottom 8 and put a nice present for her in there. Put the 4 back on top, and then wrap. Give it to her as a just because gift. When she unwraps it, she'll think you got her Tic Tacs, but then she'll actually get something nice out of it to smile. This way you're clearly tying it to the prank she pulled. You confuse her a little bit and it's immediately cleared up. Doesn't really invite escalation, at least it doesn't IMO. Plus she gets something nice too. Although I do also really like the suggestion below of change tooth to Tic Tac in her phone. That one is nice and subtle with no harm. You like tuna? Buy some tuna and some fancy cat food. Make an actual tuna sandwich and hide all the evidence, but leave an empty cat food can somewhere for her to see. Then rant and rave about how this new fancy tuna you found at the store is the best tuna you've ever had. Eventually, let her start finding the empty cat food cans while never revealing the actual tuna. You can drag it on for longer a number of ways. Don't leave any evidence out and let her maybe just stumble across the tins of cat food. Let her notice that they're decreasing and you keep raving about this tuna you're having, but she's never seeing any tuna packaging. Eventually she'll think you're actually eating cat food. Then one day, when she comes home, I'm guessing you all live together, just replace yourself with a cat. It will all click in her head, and she'll think you've had some sort of Kafkaesque transformation into a cat. Bubble wrap under the bath mat. Pop snaps gently placed under the toilet seat so they pop when she sits down. Kiss her with just a little oral gel on your lips to numb her mouth. Shredded paper on top of the ceiling fan so it snows when she turns it on. Short sheet the bed. Put a random object in her pillow so when she lays down at night there's a weird lump. Can you tell I'm married to a prankster? My husband did this many years ago and we still giggle about it. He was making us a cup of tea and I was watching TV while laying on the sofa. When he brought mine in, he was carefully walking and trying not to slosh it out of the cup. I was not happy and blasted him for filling it too full. When he handed it to me, it came with a warning about how hot it was and he gave it to me about a foot or more above my head. I was royally pissed and tried to keep the tea in the cup while I slowly lowered it so I could sip a bit out so I could make it to the table. And of course, when I got it low enough to sip out of it, it was only half full. So funny. My wife once bought this artisanal bath soap that had a bit of sand on one side for exfoliation and that portion of the soap was a dark brown. As it neared towards the end of the regular part of the soap, the brown portion became pretty malleable and was all that was left. One night we took a shower together and while she was turned away I rolled the brown piece into what looked like a little tookie and placed right on the edge of my butt cheeks where it could easily fall out. I then proceeded to wash my hair, then made a gesture like my stomach had a shooting pain and let the little guy fall out. She freaked. I then proceeded to pick it and slowly and rub it on my body. Never heard my wife cuss so much. It was hilarious. I once mildly pranked my soul without meaning to. We had not lived together long, had been together perhaps 4 or 5 months. I waited until there were no possible misunderstandings or any kind of friction, even of the mildest kind, things just going normally and happily. Then I ordered a dozen roses, and had them delivered while she was at home and I was at work. When I got home, found her sitting on the front step waiting for me, which she never did before or since. Looking apprehensive. She could not imagine what I had done or she had done or had happened that would have prompted such a thing. She was willing to believe, when I told her, that there was no reason outside of just wanting to give her flowers, but she sure wouldn't come to that conclusion herself. Not the kind of prank you're looking for. I know, but it's a happy memory. Here's a good, harmless one that will take just a bit of tact, sneakiness, and the right location. Go out for dinner, say you're going to the bathroom, and surreptitiously pay the bill ahead of time. Ask the server to tell her that the meal was comped for, Insert strange but believable reason 1. Play along, and say nothing. Do the same exact thing again a few weeks later, with the same weird reason your meal was free. It will need to be in the right location where both the bathroom and service stand are out of sight from the table your partner will be sitting at, and where the server seems amenable to that kind of shenanigan. 1. I think some reason that is mildly complimentary of you/her/you two as a couple would be perfect, as long as it's not creepy like her meal is free because you're hot. Maybe something like you guys looked so happy that the owner wanted to cover your meal for you or something along those lines.